because there's something I want to show you guys. I'm here by myself today. Oh my gosh, this means so much to me. What's up guys, this is Daniel from Arms Family Homestead, and this is a huge video. I can't even begin to explain how huge this is for me, my family, and exciting just to share it with you guys. It's going to be an awesome journey. Okay, before we get started, I know DJ does the song of the week, but I've got a song that 100% applies to this video in so many ways. It's called Buy Dirt by Jordan Davis. I can't play the whole song for you on here because of copyright reasons. Let me read you some of the lyrics and you go back and listen to it later and you'll understand what I'm talking about. I can barely contain myself, guys. So, song goes like this. A few days before he turned 80, he was sitting out back in a rocker. He said, "What you been up to lately?" I told him chasing $1, and in between sips of coffee, he poured out his wisdom. Said, "If you want my 2 cents on making $1 count, buy dirt. Find the one you can't live without, get a ring, let your knee hit the ground. Do what you love, but call it work. Do what you love, but call it work," right there. "And throw a little money in the plate at church. Send your prayers up and your roots down deep. Add a few limbs to your family tree and watch their pencil marks and the grass in the yard all grow up. Because the truth about it is, it all goes by real quick. You can't buy happiness, but you can buy dirt." Oh my gosh. I'm so excited, guys. Oh my gosh, this means so much to me. The lyrics of that song, I know he's talking about his grandpa really probably, but I miss my dad so much. And what we've done here, gosh, means so much to me. And I wish he could be here to see it. I spent 14 years of my life in law enforcement, and I left, and I wasn't sure if it was a smart move. I know I've talked about this a bunch. Holy cow. But I'm so excited for my family. I'm so proud of our accomplishments and what we've done. You guys are hanging out on a limb here. I'm going to get you off this tree because there's something I want to show you guys. I'm here by myself today because I wanted to come over and just show you guys that this is a huge move for my entire family. This is obviously probably going to be more me and Houston doing a lot of things out here, but it's a huge move for my family's future and what we can do in the future. Right now, content-wise, yeah, you'll see this is probably mostly a Daniel and Houston thing, but oh my gosh. Guess what, guys? So, a couple days ago, I posted a picture on Facebook and Instagram with my wife and I holding an abstract folder and some keys. And I said, making big moves, something, any guesses what we've done? Now, there's been about 1,000 different guesses. And I don't think anybody was exactly right. So I want to show you something. Before I get too far into this, I promise I'm going to try to hold it together. I'm not that big of a tip bag. I don't cry all the time. This is just huge for me. So, we just closed the deal on something that's been in the works for several months, okay? We bought 80 acres with an off-grid cabin. Sort of a cabin. It's really off-grid, but it's sort of a cabin. I'll take you around. I'm going to fly the drone, show you what all we've just purchased. This piece of property, I can only hope that it means as much to my family over the next several decades as it did to the family I just purchased this from. Bought it from a local person who lives in town. This is 80 acres that was originally part of about 400 acres of his family land. He's at retirement age in his, I would say, mid-late 70s, and decided that he just couldn't maintain this property anymore and decided it was time to put it up for sale. He's really only used it for the last several decades for just a getaway to get out in the country and get out of town and hunt and do different stuff. He played golf, had a little driving range out here. But listen, guys, this 80 acres was his grandfather's. So if he's 75 and you go back 2 generations, that's like early statehood for Oklahoma. This piece of property meant a lot to his family. And I hope that it will do the same for my family over the next several decades. Who knows? I don't know. So, off-grid cabin. I wish Houston was here. This is just, we'll get him out here. There's gonna be a ton of content. Let me show you this place real quick. So, this was what he called his 4-wheeler shed. There's a lot of work needs to be done. This is gonna be an ongoing project for a long time. So, do what you love, but call it work. You guys know I love property maintenance and maintaining my property and cleaning my place up and taking care of it. So this was his 4-wheeler shed and then like a little covered patio area. I'm kind of thinking we're probably going to eventually just have to tear all this out and do something different. He had a really nice old wood stove here, like a big, cast iron wood stove with a chimney that went up. He went ahead and took that home, and I think he's giving it to a friend. A little fire pit. You can see there's a lot of cleanup that needs to be done. There's still some trash and things laying around, but he loved to deer hunt, and I'm really surprised he left these deer antlers out here. But check out some of these deer. I mean, this was killed here on this property, according to the landowner. A lot of smaller bucks and stuff. So I know you guys know my kids love to deer hunt, and this place, it's a perfect area. It's a great area. This property is about 70% timber and brush, wooded areas, and 30% grassland. So kind of a good mix. Really, really good area. It's about, let's say 10 or 12 miles from our farm where we live. So it's not too far, but it's actually in a different county. So, as far as hunting possibilities and things we can do, it's close enough we can get over here and hunt all the time. Plus, it's got this cabin. And this is like I don't know the exact measurements off the top of my head, probably 14 by 20 or 22, something like that. This side's got a little small porch. There's another door in the back. It's really just a shed, but there's no utilities or anything. Not the nicest cabin right now, but there's so much potential, so many things we can do in here. Obviously it's not going to be full-time living quarters or an Airbnb or anything like that. There's no bathroom, there's no running water, just an off-grid cabin. But I do think that it'd be pretty easy to come in. I want to add some windows. The only windows are up high like that. So if we come over here and spend the night, I want to be able to see deer in the yard and stuff. So we'll probably put a couple windows in over here and maybe a couple on this side. I'm not sure, but I believe it's 14 feet across. It has one loft. The other side doesn't have a loft, but it's got this big cutout where that door goes out to the porch. Would be super easy to add another loft for sleeping areas. And I've already been in contact with a couple companies to help sponsor some projects out here. Like an off-grid power company, they're super popular on the internet right now, super popular on YouTube, the solar generator type situation. So the possibilities with this little cabin are endless as to what we can do, and with Houston and his buddies and stuff. And even once we get it set up to where we either do wood heat or propane or something, we come over here and stay the night. We'll have to do some sort of off-grid bathroom, maybe a composting toilet or something. But this place is cool. And I'm not sure what all we're gonna do, when we're gonna tear stuff out and everything, but it just makes sense for my family. Business-wise, we've talked about what we could do. I know my wife's eventual plan or goal is a rental beach property. And that sounds great, and I can't wait. We will do it someday. But as far as what we do for YouTube and Facebook and all the content, this place makes perfect sense. It's 80 acres. There is so much work that can be done to it, so much cleanup. I'm gonna go show you the pond in a minute, the deer hunting, the pigs. There's a lot of feral hogs, a lot of stuff that we can do for content for our channel, because you know, we've got all the farm equipment, the tractors and all the equipment, and just so many different things. And this just makes sense for what we do. Think about it business wise. If you're looking at it from a business, from a content creator's perspective, we can buy the land for our family. Any content we make out here, part of our business, content is going to produce income, and any money we spend is a tax write-off, a tax deduction. So purchasing the land, just like the song says, do what you love but call it work. This is what I love to do. I love to work on my property, and we figured out a way to do it and to make an income off of it. But anyways, I'll quit blabbering. Let's walk over and look at the pond real quick. I've got last year, I said I was gonna quit blabbering, but I'm gonna talk my way over there. Last year, we did some dozer work at our house and cleaned out a bunch of area. That was my cousin. His name's Branham Dempsey, and he owns a construction company. So I'm gonna have him come back and do some more dozer work at the house, at our farm. But I'm also gonna have him come here, just because a lot of this is overgrown. There's very few trails. There's very little access other than a tiny little four-wheeler trail through a lot of the property. So I want to at least get some trails set up. But the main thing is the pond. Before we get there, look, he had a golf ball washer. He used to call this his driving range. He said it was his par 3 driving range, one hole golf course or whatever. He had a little bench set up. Here's where he drove his golf balls, and he hit them. Basically, there's a couple pine trees. Straight past those pine trees is an old house place, an old homestead site. And you can still see the foundation and stuff. So that was his driving range. Anyways, here is, well, the pond. When you look at the pictures from the real estate listing, this pond looks massive. It kind of floods up into the timber and stuff. Right now, it's pretty much dry. There's a couple little puddles. So obviously the pond has some water issues, but since I've got a cousin that's in the construction business, I've already talked to him. He's gonna come out and look this week and kind of give me some estimates on what it would take to actually dig this pond out and make it, you know, actual usable pond so we can stock it with fish and stuff. But it's kind of hard to tell right now. There's a little bit of an island right there, but the pond goes, gosh, probably 75 yards past those trees over there. It's just really shallow when it's at full pool. It's just not there right now. So the projects here are just almost endless when it comes to content ideas for you guys and things that we can do out here. It's just such a cool place. One of the next things we've got to start on really quick. This is feral hogs have been here, the wild pigs. You can see where they've rutted up basically the front yard. I mean, there's pickup truck, the cabin. The hogs just in the last couple days have come in here and tore all this up. I talked to the landowner that we bought this place from, and he said this just happened probably the last 2 or 3 days. So need to get on top of that. You know, there's just a lot of little things, even outside of hiring my cousin to come in with the dozer. You know, there's a lot of, I'm not gonna say a lot. There's one big hay field up front, and then there's places like this. But then there's just a lot of this little brush. You know, I want to come in and clean this up and make it look nice so we can put in some food plots and get some stuff going for the wildlife. There's a few pine trees out here, which I don't know for certain, but I believe those were probably planted. You know, we just don't have very many native pine trees in our area, but they are pretty. He told me there was a pig trap over here. I'm not exactly sure where it is. I'm gonna go find it, but he may have torn it down and got it out of here. But I don't think it's much of a pig trap. But I've actually been talking to a company that builds and sells, there it is right here, that builds and sells wild hog traps. It's the same company that David Ellis uses to catch all of his pigs, the Yacht. If you're familiar with Yacht, it's the same trap. I've been talking to them, but anyways, here was kind of his DIY homemade pig trap. I don't know how many pigs he actually caught. He took the gate off of it. He said it did have like an automatic DIY built, you know, gate on it, but look at this. There's golf balls. He did hit a lot of golf balls around here. I found them all over the pond. Houston and I were out here one day. They were all over the pond. There's a golf ball there. There's another one on the ground right there. So if you can't tell, I am incredibly excited about this. This is like a dream for me. You know, I worked as a trooper for a long time. I live on 110 acres. It was where I grew up. It was my dad's property. And people ask me, what do you think that place is worth? And they asked me for years. I'm like, I don't know. I don't want to have it appraised because I don't want to know with the creek on it and stuff. But the main thing I always told people is I could have worked my entire career as a state trooper and never been able to afford to buy the place I live on. Then, you know, just the way God works. God does so amazing. He does so many amazing things for people. And the blessings that I've gotten through creating content are just unmeasurable. And the things we've been able to do and accomplish and the things that we're going to get to do out here, it's exciting. I'm so excited about it. So as I said earlier, this has been in the works for several months. It's been the hardest thing of my life to keep this a secret from you guys until it was actually finalized and signed and in our name. I didn't want to say a word because here's the thing. The landowner that we bought this from had a higher offer than what we offered. We came out here one day and looked at it and got to talk to him. We made an offer on it. Within a couple days, he had another offer that was higher than ours. And they went back and thought about it, but when we were out here, I told the guy who I was, what I did, told him about the YouTube channel and said, listen, I'm not gonna turn this, I'm not gonna turn it into something else. I wanna come out here, make this place beautiful, take it back to what it used to be probably, document it all on YouTube and Facebook, and you'll be able to watch the process of what we do on a piece of property that means so much to you. And they took our offer over the higher priced out-of-state offer, and that just really touched my heart. But anyways, like I said, Houston's not here, but I did bring him out here when we were looking at the place. DJ's been out here. Weston and Emily have not, but I shot a few clips the day that I brought Houston out here for the first time. So I'll roll all that. Just remember that was back like probably mid-December or something.
Is there windmills on this property?
No windmills on the property. They're all next to it.
Oh. Is this the cabin or shed?
This is the cabin.
There's 3 locks on the door.
They want it to be secure, right?
Yeah.
Well, are you excited?
Yeah.
Tell them where we're at.
We're at our new land that we just bought.
This is going to be AFH off-grid.
I don't know about that.
Well, the cabin's off-grid. It has no electricity or running water.
Yeah, true.
Let's go check this place out.
Okay.
That's a fancy deer blind right there, Houston. Heck, this is almost, you could do a survival challenge in the homemade deer blind. It's nice in here, isn't it?
Yeah.
Carpet and a tarp and some electrical conduit. I mean, it's like 10 degrees warmer in here than it is outside too. Why are you so wore out?
About 2 miles.
It'd be a good hunting spot though, wouldn't it?
Yeah. No way both of us are fitting in here.
Nope, that's a one-person blind for sure.
Yep.
He'll probably take that one with him if I had to guess though.
Yeah.
He'll probably tear that one out. Well, there it is. There's the tour of our new 80-acre off-grid cabin property. It's basically part of an original allotment when it comes to acreage. 80 acres, kind of when you break down sections, 80 acres, it's an original allotment. It's a long rectangle shape. And like I said, most of the brush and timber back that direction, past the pond. Excellent deer hunting. You can see from the drone footage just how many of those eastern red cedar trees are on this property. There are a couple pine trees that I showed you out here, but very few. Most of those are invasive, terrible, evil eastern red cedar trees. They're a juniper tree that takes over. Anyways, lots of work that can be done out here. When Houston and I were out walking around the property, there were literally hundreds of deer rubs on small trees that show sign of lots of bucks. So one of the first things I want to do is get some game cameras out here set up with some corn piles and see if the bucks are still have antlers. You know, they're going to shed them real soon. At home, they still have their antlers. I know some of Jimmy Houston's deer are already dropping some of their antlers, so it's kind of iffy on whether or not they're still going to have them or not. But I can't wait to start monitoring this property with some game cameras, see what all's out here. Can't wait to get started on projects. Guys, I'm not going to say it's the perfect place. There's some old trash piles, there's some old junk piles, there's some cleanup that needs to be done. The fences are pretty much non-existent. This is not a place that'll hold livestock right now. And I don't even know that we will bring livestock out here. Maybe eventually someday, but we're about, like I said, 10, 12, 15 miles from our house. So we're not gonna live here. We're not gonna build a house here, anything like that. That's not to say in 10 years or 15 years, one of my kids won't build a house here, but I love it. I'm so excited. I hope you guys are excited. And there's a lot of work coming, but you know, I don't know. I don't even know what all to say. I'm just so happy and excited and just blown away at the things that we're able to accomplish. And oh, by the way, there's the bathroom back there. Got to work on that. But anyways, Arms Family Homestead, off-grid cabin property. What are we going to call it? That's what I need from you guys. What do we call this place? We're going to be doing a lot of stuff. There's no, like I said, there's no water. Maybe eventually we could drill a well out here. There's no electricity. There are some power lines on the far side, as far away from the cabin as possible. So I don't plan on tying into that. What do we call it? You know, AFH property number 2 puts us up to, the original place is 110 acres that I grew up on. This is 80, so 190 acres. Mind blown. But I need some tips or some suggestions from you guys. What do you think we should call it? Probably not going to name it just yet. We'll come up with a name, but it's probably going to be a little while before we settle on it. But we need some options from you guys. What do you think? What's a good name? And what would you guys like to see the most out here? You want to see like cabin camping style videos, do some outdoor cooking and stuff? Do you want to see the property maintenance, bring in the TYM tractor out here? Obviously there's a lot of mowing that needs to be done. Next summer, or this summer, we're going to probably cut hay. So I want to do some cleanup so we can get more hay off of it, which will be good hay for our livestock. The previous owner said they made 28 round bales off of the hayfield here. Anyways, lots of stuff, lots of possibilities, lots of things we can do out here. There's an old foundation from an old house from the original homestead out here. I thought it'd be pretty cool to get a metal detector out here and do some metal detecting around that old house place. There's no telling, probably mostly trash, but you never know what you might find. And obviously this fall we'll have hunting content and stuff. So like I said, this won't be for livestock. We're not making this a farm. This is a off-grid recreation, hunting, eventually maybe some fishing type property. And I'm excited about it. So anyways, guys, that's all I've got for today. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. I know I sure am. I'm enjoying it. I'm going to enjoy it for a long time. So guys, thanks for watching. Don't cry. Such a tip bag. Guys, thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed it. Y'all have a great day. And as always, we'll see you on the next video.